be doing an art project together. We're gonna be doing something called paperwork, and I'm gonna show you different techniques that you can use to make an abstract paper sculpture. All right, so this project is really appropriate for a little bit of an older group, maybe 4, 5, 6 and up. But I do have a suggestion for the littlest ones. So one of the simplest ways to start with paper art for the littlest guys are 2s and 1s and 3s is something called torn paper collage. It's simply tearing paper. The best construction paper for that really is that cheap 99-cent store construction paper because it's so thin. It makes it easier for little ones to tear. And so you're just gonna help them to work on using their fine motor skills to tear paper. I suggest starting it off for them. Start the tear off for them, and then they can use their fingers to tear a whole bunch of different pieces of paper. If they're even littler, and that's even a struggle, you can start the tear, hold one side, and they can just pull the other side. So they can pull different shapes and lengths. Take all your pieces of torn paper, stick them all over another colored sheet of paper with some glue stick, and make their very own unique torn paper collage. You like it? Yeah. Yeah.
What is that?
All right, but now we're gonna work with the older kids and we're gonna make our own abstract paper sculpture. You gonna help me out?
Yes.
Okay. I've got my friend
Gavin
and
Tyler,
and they're gonna help me out. They're each gonna make their own abstract paper sculpture. So I'm gonna give everybody a base sheet to start with. I'm using cardboard, cardstock as the base. It's a little bit sturdier to hold all the strips of paper they're gonna be using. And we're gonna start off with simple strips of construction paper. So just cut simple strips. You can make them at different sizes, different widths. And they're gonna start by gluing the strips of paper all around. You can actually make abstract paper sculpture just with strips, different size strips and different design strips all over the paper. To make it easier to glue, you're gonna bend and make a foot for the strip like that. And that's where you put your glue. And then it'll stick easier onto your paper. Yeah. All right, so you can fill your paper up with different colors and size strips. All right, if you're having a hard time making it stick, I suggest just having them hold the feet down and count to 10, and then it should stick. So you go ahead, hold it down and count to 10.
1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10. Yay!
Okay, the next step we're gonna do is we're gonna add some tubes to our abstract structure. So take a fat marker and you're gonna just get it started by rolling it just so you can get it to be round. Okay. And then you're gonna put a little bit of glue on the end. And then you want it to stay. So this is a little trickier. You have to hold it there again and count to 10, okay? So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so now you've got these tubes. You can glue them on your paper like this. And make a little tunnel.
Like that.
Or I'm gonna show you one more thing. I'm gonna take this off actually and show you one more thing. If you want your tube to stand up like this, you can't really put glue. There's not much surface area here to put the glue to stick it. So you're gonna make something called feet. So you're gonna use your scissor and make small little cuts about every inch apart or so. Okay, and then fold. We're making feet again. Remember we made feet on the strips, now we're making feet on our tubes. And now you can put a little bit of glue on each foot to make it be able to stand up.
I can see.
Okay, give it a try.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna show you one more technique. We're gonna be making cones, or I like to call them volcanoes. So you're gonna need a circle for this. So parents, you can be exact and you can get something circular and trace it, but really I just eyeball myself a circle. It doesn't have to be so perfect. And then you're going to cut a slit right up to the middle of the volcano. Okay, and then this is the fun part. You just kind of bend the volcano. You can have a short little volcano, or if you want to make it taller, then you got to keep going, keep going, keep going. And then you just need a little bit of glue to close it off. Okay, and do your counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now the same thing, you want to make your feet so that you can make the volcano stand there. So little snips every inch or so apart. Okay, sometimes I like to make my cones and put them on tops of your tubes. You would make the feet there, right, in that case, on the top of your tube, bend those down, and then you can glue them to like that. So you can make a little top for your tree. So now that I've shown you and shown them different techniques for doing paperwork, now what I would do is just give them a whole bunch of different pieces of paper to work with, right? So cut a bunch of rectangles to be the tubes, a bunch of different size colors and size circles for the cones, and different colored and size shapes of strips that they can use, and let them be creative as they want. Use all the different pieces to create whatever kind of sculpture they come up with. Okay, have fun, guys. One of my favorite parts about this kind of a project is something called process art, something you should look up. I really think it's a great way to approach art. I had the pleasure during one of my maternity leaves, and when I came back, I was actually the art teacher for the year. And that's something that I did a lot of research on, and really focuses on the techniques and the procedures kids use to create their art, as opposed to focusing on what the finished product looks like, right? So it's not like we're all going to try to make an Easter bunny with the same size ears and here's where to put everything. It's really about letting them be creative, letting them come up with what the final product looks like. And that's what this kind of a art project encourages.
First, I did my razors. I did more razors. Then there's my volcano. This my tunnels, and this is my lava.